I'm Corey, and this is my Brick Fair, Alabama 22 mock. And as you can see, I got the big castle kind of on top of the cliff, overlooking the ocean. And then down below, I have the town with all the different buildings and all the people kind of meeting for the fair. And then out here, I have the army marching to the front of the castle.
So this is a fantastic layout. Do you know the size of this layout, like height and width?
It's about 6 by 5 green base plates, or 32 by 32 base plates. And I don't really know the height because this tower is actually new. I just built it not that long ago. So
Continuing to expand.
yeah.
That's awesome. So where did you start? Did you start with the castle and then move out from there, or how did that work?
I actually started with the town down here because I knew I kind of wanted to have some water and make a port. So I started with the kind of piers out there, and then I worked my way into the town, where I just made like a flat surface for it, and then I moved on to this wall, and then kind of up to the castle, and then I switched back and forth. Like I made a house and then moved back to the castle just to get a little variety when I'm building.
Right. There's a lot of gray in the castle, so I'm
Yeah.
sure it was nice to go back and forth.
Yeah, and especially with the rock work, it can be a little bit tedious, and sometimes you have to kind of redo it because it looks a little bit off or whatever. So
One thing that catches your eye when you first walk up to this layout is the town buildings and the roofs in particular. So talk about some of your techniques, because you did a nice variety here.
yeah, so I actually started with this house over here, and I just kind of mixed the minifigure stands, which are always great for roofs, and just some black tiles. And so that's just plates with tiles on top. And then to fill the kind of awkward gap, I have all the cylinders just lined up.
That's a great technique. You've got this, which is kind of like the blacksmith shop type of look.
That's exactly what I got it from. Those tiles and that technique was really cool in that set. And that's one of my favorite sets now, so.
And then this one here is neat. You kind of incorporated the stone tower into the building.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a watchtower down in the city, so the guards can make sure there's no trouble down in the town.
And then one thing I love with layouts like this is the minifigures, and there's so much action. So take us through some of your favorite scenes, maybe some of the minifigures. I see some pretty old ones, some cool stuff here.
Yeah, so I kind of just I took this to Virginia and I did the same thing there. I kind of just piled minifigures on, put some different factions on. Like up here in the front, there's a meeting between the Fantasy Era King and then just some random soldiers.
And the Vikings with the big turkey.
Yeah. So those are the dwarves.
dwarves.
Yeah, and they have the pointy helmets. And then I have a couple of them with the bronze colored helmets over there.
I love all of the sort of regalia here, the capes, and everything that goes along with these guys.
Yeah, those are the classic 90s Dragon Knights.
So then let's make our way up to the castle here. So you mentioned the rock work earlier. That obviously stands out. Talk about kind of how you incorporated that into the walls of the castle and how that came together.
Yeah, the rock work, I kind of just started from the bottom, built up. There's always, you got to kind of rebuild it or tear it down because it kind of looks off. You got to get it right. And one of my favorite angles, which is actually kind of hard to see, is that back corner. The rock kind of goes down with the wall. So the walls actually, it looks like the wall's built with the rock. So, the rock was naturally there, and they built the castle with the rock, kind of.
So there's obviously tons of slopes on the outside, but what's the structure underneath there like?
A lot of Duplo and a lot of just random colorful bricks. Yeah.
Oh, that works well as that kind of filler type brick.
Yeah. There's some parts that are hollow because, it's just easy. I actually have a couple of the big Duplo plates. And so just get a couple pillars of Duplo and put one plate on, and that makes a big surface, which is really nice.
And as we make our way up, you've got some nice fluctuations in the castle walls themselves. So instead of just kind of one flat gray wall, you've got different parts that stick out, some indentations. So what was your goal with that?
Yeah, I've never really done angled walls, so it was something new for me. So I kind of wanted to make some rounder shapes and some more angles, and that was really fun. It was kind of hard to incorporate it into the rock work, so that's something that I'm definitely trying to learn how to do. But
you've even got some forest men over here. They're making their way up.
Yeah, somehow the guys up here, they didn't notice that they got a rope up there and that he's making his way up. They're just enjoying the ocean view out there.
And then as we make our way inside the castle, what do we have happening on tops of the towers and inside there?
We just got some guys kind of on patrol, and then In the corner there, we got a nice little blacksmith. He's kind of got the tent there, working inside there. And then I actually have the full interior for the castle where I have all the way on the right there, I got kind of a dungeon, and then I have the king on his throne with kind of like a meeting room. And then I got some stairs that lead up to in here where there's like a big map room. And there's actually, if you look in there, it's a mini build of the entire layout, which that was pretty fun to do. And then there's an armory on the next floor, a bunch of different weapons and stuff like that. And then this is there's just like a huge pile of boxes, so it's just kind of a messy storage room. And then I didn't really get to the tower, so it's kind of empty, but yeah.
How did you decide to go with the red and gray for kind of the overall color scheme?
Well, I kind of grew up with the Kingdoms Lion Knights, and so that's kind of, they've always been my favorite, and they're red and gray, so that kind of worked out well.
And if we can, let's make our way back around then to the other side, because you've got the whole army kind of assembling and heading out of the castle here. So this is quite the impressive knights you have going on here.
Yeah, so I always say, I have two older brothers, and so one of the best thing is I got all their Legos once they stopped liking Legos. So now I have a really big army that I've been collecting over the years, which a lot of them were from them.
And some excellent landscaping here as well. So not just the gray rock work, but even like the brown path and all the grass here. You've even got that nice slope going on.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to. I do really enjoy the green and brown landscape, so I kind of wanted to do some of that with the gray. Not just the gray rock work. A little variation. So.
One thing I noticed as well is you have a public element. I think you have looking for green frogs throughout the build. So I noticed one on top of the roof here. There's one on the side of the cliff over there.
Yeah, so there's actually 5 green, 1 gold, 1 yellow, and 1 brown. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see them all in the video, but people here definitely enjoy looking for all the different frogs.
So when you bring this to a convention like BrickFair Alabama, what is the setup process like to get this all ready?
So every base plate comes apart and all the buildings come off. The one thing I do regret is the castle. None of the castle sections actually come off except for the big tower because I built that last. And so I kind of realized I made a mistake there because a lot of them, it's just a super tall base plate. So it's kind of hard to stack boxes because it's just, it's all the different pieces of the castle. And they would break if I tried to put a box on top of it. So.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it came together nicely here. How long did it take you to set it up once you got here?
Well, I spent pretty much all of Thursday setting it up, so.
There you go. Well, I'm glad you got it ready in time for the public to check it out. As people have walked by, what is it that kind of first catches people's attention? What have you gotten the most comments on?
Well, definitely the frogs, I think, because everyone really enjoys I found all 8 frogs. What do I get? And I'm just like, you just get the satisfaction of finishing, so.
Completing the challenge.
Yeah. And actually, one fun detail is on top of the red roof. One of my friends, when I got here, they were like, that looks a lot like Pizza Hut. And so he gave me that tile. And so it has the Pizza Hut tile on there, which is kind of funny.
I had not noticed that. Thank you for pointing that out, because now that's all I can think of.
Yeah.
So do you have any plans to expand on this and add any more to the town or water portion or anything like that?
Well, I'm kind of debating right now. My friends really want me to keep it together, but I do kind of want to build something new. But it is definitely my favorite build yet, so it is going to be hard to take it apart. So I haven't really decided yet.
Well, spectacular. Any other plans for conventions later in the year? Any place else you might be displaying at if people want to see your work?
Yeah, I'm probably going to be going to Virginia and then coming back to Alabama for BrickFair.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for taking us through the layout. It's a great build. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.